Do you have nice feet? Show feet. What's wrong with your feet? Also, what color socks do you prefer? What size are your feet? If you're not doing a foot reveal, then at least a hand reveal. Hey, tell us weird stuff about your feet. Weird shit about your feet? I'm asking weird shit about your feet. Why do you not have a Twitter, you funky boy? Well, I don't have a Twitter because I don't like Twitter, but I'm starting a Discord server, actually, where we can all hang out and chat, and I'll use this as a way for me to chat to you guys on the regular. Like, I'll use it like I would use Twitter if I had a Twitter, if I liked Twitter, but I don't like Twitter, so I'm using a Discord. The link is in the description below. Where are you from? Your accent sounds like one of an American man who lives in an Australian expat community in the UK, who also happens to enjoy Canadian maple syrup. Seriously, you have no dominant accent. I would say you sound British, but I also know both Australians and Americans who talk like you. Plus, I can't discount Canadian, because to me it seems like every YouTuber is Canadian. Forgive me if you have mentioned it in previous videos. I just don't have the time to devote my life to watching you. I like you, but not that much. Congrats on 10k subs. So, I'm from Australia. I've never even left Australia. I've grown up in Sydney, which is a fairly multicultural city, and you know how, like, our television is all British and American, and I think I have a different accent when I'm reading something. So when I you know how you have, like, a formal reading voice, and all my videos are scripted. So I'll be reading out a video, and I'll sound different to what my, like, regular voice is now, I guess. But, I don't know, man. I can't explain why I have the accent that I do. What's your favorite anime? So I don't watch a lot of anime TV shows, but I've seen a lot of movies. And my favorite anime movie is Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon. It's a psychological thriller. I won't say too much more than that, but I think it's a really, really cool movie. Well deserved. Congrats. Thanks. Also, thanks for finally mentioning Dementium 2. It pretty much improved in almost every aspect of the original. Your favorite video game composer? Mine's a tie between Yoko Shimomura and Daisuke Ishiwatari. So I'm really bad at remembering video game composer names, as terrible as that sounds. I know Jesper Kid of Hitman and Assassin's Creed fame. I think he's made some great music. Jeremy Soule on the Elder Scrolls series has been really good. Oh, the bloke that did Daytona. Now there's this video on YouTube. His name's, I've got it written down. Hang on. His name is Takanobu Mitsuyoshi, and he sang that, like, you know, "Let's Go Away Daytona." And there's these videos on YouTube of him covering those tracks. And they are incredible, and you should check them out. I'm going to play a clip right now. Links are in the description. Those are amazing. Also, I love the soundtracks to games like, I like the Human Revolution soundtrack, I like the Metal Gear Solid soundtrack, the Bully soundtrack's really good. GoldenEye, GoldenEye on the N64 by Grant Cope, I believe his name is. I find that really entertaining for whatever reason, maybe it's just nostalgia. The Halo soundtrack is incredible, but you all know that. Yeah, I wish I knew the names of the composers. I wanna give them more credit, because those soundtracks are incredible. What was your first video? My first video was a video review of Kane and Lynch. If you remember the video game from 2007 by IO Interactive. It was a terrible video review of a game that I thought was underrated. So I've privatized the video. I think I've unlisted the video, actually. I'm not really embarrassed by it. I just don't want people to click on it and then click away from my channel because they see this, like, shockingly bad review. I'll put the link for that in the description too if you really want to check that out. What's your game plan for the future of your channel? Were you expecting the sudden growth of late? I wasn't expecting growth at all. It's quite unbelievable. that I have grown this much. I'm super stoked. My game plan for the future, I'm going to keep doing these list type videos that you like the roundups of first-person shooters. I'm going to expand that into other genres and other sort of things, and as well as the graphically impressive series. I'm just going to keep doing those, but in between, during those coming out, I'm going to try and push out just random ideas that come to my head, as well as video game reviews. So currently what I'm doing is I do like 5 graphically impressive Nintendo DS games. Then I'll do a video review of a video game. Then I'll do 5 graphically impressive DS games. Then I'll do a video review of a video game. In the future of my channel, I plan on doing 5 graphically impressive blah blah blah, and then whatever the hell comes to my head to do with video games, 5 graphically impressive, whatever comes to my head, etc., etc. So I'm just, as a way to experiment and grow my channel and see what sticks, I'm going to keep experimenting with my channel for the foreseeable future, while I'm still putting out these videos that you guys all love. If 2 guys were on the moon, and one of them killed the other with a rock, would that be fucked up or what? Congrats on moving from 1k to 10k in just a few videos. Thank you. My question, are you interested in doing some graphically impressive videos for other retro, portable, or home consoles? And if so, which one would you start with? So the next one I'm doing is the PSP. I think the PSP is a really, really cool console, and I want to hit that up next. Then probably after that, I'm going to look into the PS2, or maybe go into the 90s and look at some home consoles. What was the thought process behind the first video in the style of 5 impressive handheld games? Since beforehand you were more of a review guy, did you expect them to be as successful as they ended up being? No, I didn't expect them to end up being successful. What was the thought process behind it? Mate, I just find it really fascinating, right? It's really cool to see a handheld console push to its limits. And when I was a kid, and I was playing GBA games, I was really into, Driver 2 fascinated me, Driver 3 fascinated me. The fact that Doom and Nightfire were on handheld, were on my Game Boy, I thought was amazing. I didn't own them, but I was, always browsing GameSpot videos and IGN videos and just looking at all these things and being like, this shit's amazing. At some point, I just thought... No, I remember now. At some point, I YouTubed it. I was, graphically impressive, or, I YouTubed 3D GBA games. There weren't many videos, and in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to make that video. What's your opinion of Sonic the Hedgehog? So Sonic Mania just came out, and apparently it's amazing. I haven't played it, but I want to play it. Otherwise, I've played quite a lot of Sonic games. The one I grew up with was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube, and I loved it at the time, but I can't enjoy it anymore. Recently, I really enjoyed Generations and Colors, and I think that Generations and Colors are the 2 finest Sonic games ever made, aside from Mania, which might be better because I haven't played it. There's that popular opinion that's Sonic isn't good no, Sonic was never good. Which I disagree with that. I think that the first few Sonic games are fine. I don't think they were amazing. I think there are inherent problems with those games mechanically. But, they're fun games, and Sonic started good. I don't like the idea that Sonic was never good, because clearly it was so successful and it influenced so many things, and so many people loved it. So, yeah, that's my opinion of Sonic the Hedgehog. Have you ever had issues with Australia's rather strict gaming censorship laws? So this was a big fucking deal. If you don't know the history behind this, basically we have films which have this thing called an R18 rating, and for the longest time the video games didn't have an R18 rating. It only went up to 15, which was the step below R18, which meant that a lot of games were banned in Australia. And it feels really sort of ridiculous as someone who's 21 years old that the government sort of gets to choose what I get to play, what I get to consume, even though there's all this crazy shit on the internet I can just click on. So yeah, I think it's ridiculous. And even after the R18 law came in, they still censored some games like South Park: The Stick of Truth and I think Saints Row 4. Hotline Miami 2 wasn't released here, which I find ridiculous. That's the one game I wanted to play. Also, the reboot of Syndicate I was sort of interested in playing but never ended up doing. So I think that the strict censorship laws are ridiculous and shouldn't be in place. Favorite game of 2017 thus far? I haven't played many games of 2017. At the moment, I'm playing Yakuza 0, and it is incredible. So that's probably it. Also, PUBG is amazing, but I'm sure you all know that. It's not technically out, so it might not count, but if it comes out in 2017, then that's probably my favorite game of 2017. So the other day, I was at the beach, you're following, and I picked up a tub of salsa and walked into the water, and a lady goes up to me and asks, "What are you doing?" Then I reply, "Oh, I'm just taking a dip in the ocean." Also, what's the worst graphics you've seen in a modern game? I love that this guy just wanted to post a joke. I don't know why he posted a joke, but it's such a shit joke too. Fuck, man. What is your favorite game out of all the graphically impressive games you have covered? And what game would you say is the most impressive of them, all things considered? My favorite game, probably Stuntman by Velez and Jubail, French Atari duo. I've talked about this before, but Stuntman's just a really, really solid race driving game, if you will. I feel like it moves forwards at a breakneck pace in that the levels change before they don't overstay their welcome. They don't get boring too quick. The game's fairly short, and I hadn't played Stuntman before doing this series, and this was the first time I played Stuntman, and I almost finished it, which is something I haven't done for any other game. And I know that it's short, so it doesn't really count, but I thought Stuntman was a really fun game. Outside of that, all the other VD dev games are fun, including Cop the Recruit. Dementium 2 recently I thought was really interesting. Generally, racing games have all been pretty good. What would I say is the most impressive of them? Man, I don't know. Driver 3 is pretty great, and Cop the Recruit's pretty... VD Dev's pretty great, Dementium's great. I don't know, man, I can't answer that. Do you do the sex? Minime fucks. Your favorite game ever and why? Not the best game, but the game that lays in your heart forever. This is... Alright, so when people ask me what my favorite game is, a bunch of different things come to my head. Like, I'll think of, like, Metal Gear Solid 2, Mafia, The Longest Journey, all the Tony Hawk's games. Time Crisis 2 comes to my head. There's just a whole bunch of different sort of video games, and I know I'm forgetting something. The game that lays in my heart forever, I'm good. This will always like change. Like my mind will change regarding what this is. I'm gonna go with The Longest Journey because I feel like The Longest Journey sort of portrays a fantasy world so convincingly. Like it was very. The characters, a lot of the characters, like they wear their heart on their sleeve, and they're very sort of. They're very realistic characters in a way that I found to be very identifiable. Even though there's this amazing fantasy world, I found that the lead character, what was her name? April Ryan. I found that April Ryan was a very sort of... she was very easy to be sympathetic or empathetic or easy to relate to. That game just sort of... It captured me in a way that not a lot of games do. What do you think is the most hidden gem that you have played? Not to say the best hidden gem, but the most obscure game you've played that's actually worth playing. So, there's a review on my channel of a game called Deadly Dozen, which you should check out, because Deadly Dozen is a really interesting... I'd consider it a hidden gem. I think that was a really fascinating game. I'll put a link in the description, and at the end of this video, maybe. Also, there's this series that Activision's Budget line released, like Activision, I can't remember what it was called. you remember Activision had that sports series that... Anyway, there was a series called Skateboard Park Tycoon. And the one I played was Skateboard Park Tycoon 2003 World Tour. And it was a game where you built a skate park. It was a tycoon game. You built the ramps, you got like sponsors, and you built sponsor venues and, you know, toilets and shops for all your skaters. Skaters would come to your skate park and pay for entry. It was a tycoon game, right? But the really interesting thing about it was you could click on any of the skaters on the screen and click on them, you could see all their details. And if you clicked a button at the bottom, you could become that skater. So essentially, it would switch to a behind the skater camera and turn into a Tony Hawk's game. Of course, the physics were horrible. It wasn't not nearly on the same level. It was a shockingly bad Tony Hawk's game at that. But the fact that you could sort of design your own park in a tycoon game and then go down and skate it yourself, I thought was incredible. I still think is kind of incredible. And if there was a new Skateboard Park Tycoon game out, I think it's a strong enough concept that it would be a really fun game. How intimidating is the sudden growth? Interesting for me to know as a new sub. It's pretty intimidating. I'm not really scared to try new ideas. Like, I'm coming on face cam. This shit's kind of intimidating. I'm so, like, awkward on camera. Like, it's weird for me to be talking to a camera. That's something I'll get used to, but it's intimidating, like I'm showing my face on the internet. But I'm not so intimidated that it's restricting me from doing what I want. Dad, is that you? How did you figure out what content you wanted to have on your YouTube channel? Throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. What is your favorite TV show? I just watched the latest episode of Game of Thrones with some mates and it was amazing. So Game of Thrones is great. I really liked a James Franco Goes to the 60s, whatever that was called, 10/22/63. I enjoyed that recently. I like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I like Leno and Woodley for you Australian viewers. I like The Simpsons. That'll never get old. I mean, that's not true. The old Simpsons will never get old. How many games that you go over that you continue to play afterwards? I don't play any of those list games. I don't play GBA games or Nintendo DS games really at all these days outside of for these videos. And I know that'll sound like, man, what a hypocrite, what a like faker. He pretends he's into these video games, but I used to play handheld consoles a lot more, but recently I've just bounced off them. I feel like I like to put myself in a situation where like I like to sit back, get comfortable, have a big screen, have sound system all around me. That's how I enjoy my video games. I don't like playing on a tiny little screen in front of me. But that's just who I am. I'm not like I used to be super into handhelds. I'm sure I'll get back into it a lot more in the future. It's just at the moment I don't play them that much. What's your favorite Elder Scrolls game? My favorite... Alright, so Morrowind is flat out the best Elder Scrolls game. Right? You following? But I like Oblivion the most. Oblivion's the one I had... I like Oblivion the most because of nostalgia. And that's petty, but whatever. I love it. I spent the most time with it. It came out in 2006 when I was 10 years old, and it kind of carried me through the teens, you know, so that's a game that I loved, but I played Morrowind concurrently, and I really, really do love Morrowind as well, and like seriously love those two games. Like, I used to hang out on the Elder Scrolls forums, like the official forums, and talk about Elder Scrolls lore. That's how into it I was, but Skyrim I didn't like at all. I really bounced off it. I thought it was really really bad at grabbing your attention. I think the quests were just shocking, and there was no sense of like... you couldn't really identify with your character in the same way that you could in the previous two games for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I didn't really like Skyrim. Oblivion's my favorite, but I think that Morrowind's probably the best, as weird as that is. What's your favorite game system of all time? The PlayStation 2 is my favorite game system of all time. I think it came out at a time where Technology was advanced enough to allow for some really interesting game design, but it wasn't so advanced that AAA game development was incredibly expensive. So the result was just a ton of video games, good and bad, and a ton of like experimental video games, and there are still games on the PS2 I don't know about, and I have like hundreds and hundreds of PS2 games. I love that console. How would you feel about game sessions with subs? Like tweeting out that you're in a lobby and playing with subs, that sort of thing. Congrats on 10k. Thanks. I'm starting a Discord server, and I'm happy to play games with subs if I'm in the mood. I'm sure I won't be in the mood very often because it's not really... I find my time kind of precious these days, but yeah, I'm happy to do it occasionally. It sounds like a fun thing to do every now and again. So yeah, come join my Discord. Link is in the description. Let's play some video games. Let's hit up some hot Minecraft Let's Plays or something. Hashtag Minime ask, what's your favorite video game series? That's a tough question. There's so many. I really like Metal Gear Solid. I really like Driver. I really like Tony Hawk's. I really like EA Skate. There's probably a whole bunch of series I'm forgetting. Definitely not Mafia. I played through Mafia this year, and it's a real shocking series, as much as I love that first game. Deus Ex. I find Deus Ex to be incredible. Or Hitman. Hitman's always been an amazing series. I absolutely adore Hitman Blood Money. That's one of my favorites as well. Do you have any YouTubers that inspired you to start doing these quality videos? So I really liked Classic Game Room when I started the channel, but Classic Game Room isn't really what it used to be. I like I like Super Bunny Hop a lot. You should check out his channel. There's a channel called The Examined Life of Gaming, it's actually a smaller channel than mine, but his content is way better. He looks at like early 2000s PC budget games, among other things. He does video game reviews and I like. It's a really, really fantastic channel. Like legit one of my favorite channels on the entirety of YouTube. And he only has like 5,000 subscribers, so you should check him out. I don't actually watch a lot of video gaming YouTubers, as weird as that may sound. I watch a lot of stuff that would fall under other categories, like about music and skateboarding and completely unrelated to gaming. Yeah, I'd say like every YouTuber I've really watched has probably influenced me slightly. Every YouTuber I've really gotten into has influenced me. Hi, I'm not a subscriber yet, but your videos frequently pop up in my recommendations, and I've watched a few. So I'll go ahead and drop you a question. Thanks. Was this kind of graphics list thing something you always wanted to do with your channel, or is this just the flow that your channel traffic took you to? And if not, what is it you'd rather be doing more of? So that Kane and Lynch video I mentioned earlier, I released that video in 2012. So I pretty much did video game reviews up until that GBA video. I did a couple of movie reviews as well. Of course, it's all been nuked. I kind of nuked my whole channel, made everything unlisted or private. I wanted to be doing video game reviews, and this is definitely something that my audience has taken to rather than something I intended to take my channel towards. But right now I'm not feeling like ultra strong about video game reviews. I don't think they're quite as I think of what I do when I search YouTube, and I watch a video game review usually if I'm interested in the game rather than the reviewer. And I want people to click on my videos because they're interested in me rather than the game. So I'm going to slow down a bit on video game reviews. I'm probably never going to stop because I find them kind of fun to make. But I want to branch out into other areas right now. But I always thought that I wanted to be a reviewer, and that's all I wanted to do. But I'm glad that I branched out in other directions. What do you like most about your own channel, and what, if any, changes do you want to make in the future? The thing I like most about my own channel is you guys, and that's like the most boring answer there is. But I really like how receptive you guys are to like the weird shit that I do. Like my videos are fairly normal, right? Like they're just boring. Well, not boring, you guys love them. I think they're kind of boring list videos, right? I want to be better at them. And I won't really crack too many jokes. or do much like weird out there shit. But when I slip something in, it becomes like the hot new meme of mini-me. I think that's really entertaining. Are there any changes you want to make in the future? Not really. I'm pretty happy at where I am. Maybe I'm going to slow down on the... No, hang on. Let me reword this. I don't want to... I want to refocus my channel a bit further away from the list videos so that if there was a scenario in the future where I didn't make list videos, I know as horrifying as that sounds, I want there to be other things that people come to my channel for. So I'm just trying to build my channel in that direction. But I'm not stopping the lists anytime soon. They're so lucrative. I make that sweet YouTube money. I like how you have to tell us not to ask about your feet. Serious question, what inspires you? In general, and/or what inspires you to make YouTube videos? So I'm a fairly sort of creative person. Like I work on music stuff as well as this. I play guitar. I play a little bit of piano. It's sort of just who I am. Like I want to. All right, let's get real depressing. So the reason I do a lot of this stuff is because I'm super scared of getting a desk job, and that's the real answer here. I'm not. I get real like I go fucking crazy, right? If I'm doing like really mundane work, so I want to set myself up to a point where I can do what I love doing. What's your favorite handheld gaming system? The PSP is my favorite. It has a great library. It's quite powerful, especially for its time. Yeah, I think the PSP is a great handheld console. Can you marry me? I can't marry you because I'm in Australia and gay marriage is not legal yet. So what's going on right now is the government is spending millions and millions of dollars, I think it's over 100 million, on this ridiculous Australia-wide vote to vote in whether gay marriage should be legal, and of course it's going to go through. So, at the moment, no, I can't marry you, because our government is ridiculous. Is there a Mrs. Minime in your life? There is a Mrs. Minime in my life, and that's what I call her. I don't call her by her name. I say, "Hey, Mrs. Minime, want to go on a date?" So she's the one who told me to start YouTubing again at the end of last year. I was at just 100 subscribers, and she was like, "You should really follow that. You should have a crack at that again." And I did, and now I'm at 11,000 subscribers. So she's awesome. I love her. Hey baby, you put feet on my face.